Hello students, today we are going to learn about tenses. I am sure tenses is a word which gives tension to lot of students. But we are going to make it much more simpler for everybody to comprehend. Let's begin. Tenses is a word that begins with letter T. We all know that. So can we say tenses is equal to time? It represents the time of an action in a much simpler way. Tense tells you the time of an action when the action happened. It happened in the past, it will happen in the future, or it is happening in the present. So basically, it tells us the time of an action. If we put it in a much more simpler definition, tenses refer to the forms of a verb that represents the time of an action or event. If I ask you all, how many tenses do we have in English? Immediately the answer comes yes. We have three tenses: present, past, and future. You're absolutely right. But there are 12 tenses too we should learn in English. There are subparts of tenses. I am going to tell you in a form of a story. If you will learn all the 12 tenses name and their rules, it will be so much tedious task for you to learn and then remember throughout your life. But I'm sure with this small story, you will be able to remember the entire concepts in your entire life. You will remember it throughout your life. Let's begin. So now, tense was a father. He had three sons: present, past, and the third one was future. One day, the father, Tenses, was actually very sad. He said, I have only three sons. I wanted to have a bigger family. So, present tense said, okay, I will have four sons. Past tense said, okay, I will also have four sons. Future tense said, okay, I will also have four sons. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 12 tenses in total. Let's learn the names of these 12 tenses now. First, present tense. So, present tense said, okay, I'm going to keep the names of my sons like this: indefinite. We can call it simple also. The second one is continuous. Third is perfect. And the fourth one was perfect continuous. In the similar manner, past tense also wanted to copy the present tense. So he also said the same thing, that I am going to keep the names of my son also the same. Let's see: indefinite, again continuous, then perfect, then perfect continuous. Future tense also wanted to copy the rest of the two brothers. So he also said indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Now there was so much confusion with all the 12 sons. Which son belongs to whom? So now, in order to remove the confusion, they decided to keep the name of the father before the name of the son. For example, these four sons belong to present tense. So we will keep the name of the father before the name of each son. So it becomes present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. In this similar manner, past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. Similarly, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. So these are the names of 12 tenses. I repeat, tense was a father. He had three sons: present, past, and future. One day, Tenses was actually very sad. He said that I wanted to have a bigger family. I have only three sons. So, all the three sons promised further that they will have four sons each. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is equal to 12. So, they decided to keep the name same for each tense: indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Similar for this: indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Indefinite, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Now, in order to avoid the confusion, they decided to keep the name of the father before the names of the sons. Now, don't you think so? Remembering the rules of these 12 tenses will be a little more complicated task. But I'm going to make it much more simpler through the magical fingers. Do you want to learn? Let's begin. This is a picture of my hand, okay? So now I am going to label it. I call it as magical fingers. Why? You're going to see the magic now. Let's begin. First finger, I call it as present tense finger. Second, I call it as past tense finger. Third, I call it as future tense finger. And the fourth one is perfect tense finger. I will tell you the meanings of each tense, okay? So I am writing it the helping verbs. We can say it as helping or auxiliary verbs. Is, am, and are, which comes in the present tense. Similarly, in the past tense also, the helping verbs that comes was and were. And then in the future tense, it's will and shall. Perfect tense, it's has, have, and had. To make things much more simpler for you, you should know about it, considering the subject and verb agreement as well. For subject and verb agreement, we should know that with the singular noun is taken as a helping verb. Am is used with I, are is used with P, plural, was with singular, were with plural, will and shall will be taken with both singular plural, has with singular, have with plural, and had is used with past tense. These all words is, am, are, was, were, will, shall, has, have, had. These are all helping verbs or auxiliary verbs. Okay. Now let's come to the best friend. The best friend for present tense was V1 plus SES. For best friend for the past tense, V2. Future tense, it's V1. Perfect tense, V3. You have to remember the best friends for each tense. Now the question comes. Maybe you have the confusion that what does this V1 stands for? V1 refers to its verb first form. Similarly, V2 is verb second form. V3 refers to verb third form. S refers to singular and P refers to plural. This will help you out in remembering why I called it as magical fingers. Now you will get to know. See, when I talk about this particular hand and the 12 tenses rules, you're going to learn all the 12 tenses rule through this hand picture only. How? First of all, you should know the meaning. For example, we all have our own names and everybody's name has a meaning. In this similar manner, even these names also have a meaning. Let me tell you what. Simple tense or indefinite tense is one and the same thing. If I talk about simple present tense, that means the action, habitual actions that happens every day. Simple past tense, when I say simple tenses means present tense, the action that happens every day, habitual actions or the universal facts are considered under present tense. Past tense, the action that happened in the past. Future, that action will take place in the future. Continuous tense refers to meaning of continuous tenses work in progress. It's, you can refer it as work in progress, WIP. In short key, you can remember work in progress. If the action is running at the moment, that is present continuous. The action that happened in the past was running in the past, past continuous. Similar manner, if the action will run at the moment, when you see that action in the future, that time if it is running, then it is future continuous. Similarly, perfect tense represent the complete state. If I put it in the simpler language for you, these keywords will help you remember this. Represents the complete action. Present perfect, the action is completed in the present state. Past, the action was completed in the past state. Future, the action will be completed in the future state. So perfect means it represents the action is complete in a complete state. Perfect and perfect continuous represents the action that began in the past but is running in the at the moment, that is present perfect continuous. The action that began in the past, that action that began in the past, and that, I repeat, if the action happened, it started in the past and is running at the moment, that is present perfect continuous. The action that began in the past and was running in the past is past perfect continuous. In the similar manner, the action that began in the past and will be running in the future, that will be future perfect continuous. And if I ask you to remember the rules of these 12 tenses, it will be very difficult task for you to remember. But with the help of these magical fingers, you will be able to remember it. Let's see. Now, if I talk about present indefinite tense, how will you remember present indefinite tense? Before I start with this, I want to tell you the normal structure of a sentence. The correct structure of a sentence is subject plus verb plus object. Subject is the one who performs the action. Object is the one who is receiving the action. This is verb, action words or doing words. Here I'm going to talk about only the verb form. Subject and object will remain at its place. If I talk about present indefinite tense, I am going to write only the best friends which we have written here. That's it. Present indefinite, if I talk about, present indefinite will come in this form. The best friend for present tense was V1 plus SES. I've just copied from here. Past tense, the best friend was V2. And future tense, the best friend is will. We will take the helping verb V1. Now V1 plus SES is used in case of singular noun. But in case of plural noun, only the V1 form will remain. We will not use S or ES in that case. Continuous tense. Now we are not going to do anything. The best friend for continuous tense I'm mentioning here is V1 plus ing. Okay. So we will look for the helping verbs which are mentioned here. Present tense, the helping verbs are is, am, are. Past tense, the helping verbs are was, were. Similarly, in the future tense, we will pick up only will here. Okay. Now, the best friend for continuous tense was V1 plus ing. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write just V1 plus ing plus V1 plus ing plus V1 plus ing. In this similar manner, if I talk about perfect tense, what was written on the perfect tense finger? The best friend for perfect tense finger was V3. So I'm mentioning here also so that you remember it. Okay. So what are the helping verbs mentioned on the perfect tense finger? Has, have and had. Had, we are very clear that it is for the past tense. Okay. So let's not waste time. First we write for had for past tense. For future tense we write has and have. Okay. Present tense we've written has, have. I'm sorry. For the future tense, let's write will. Will take a plural helping verb. So we have taken have. Then who was the best friend? V3 plus V3 plus V3.
Go.
And in the perfect continuous tense, the best friend we can say it's been. Okay. I've missed out here B. B should be there. I'm so sorry. It's a B should be added here. Perfect continuous tense. And if we talk about perfect continuous tense, so been is the best friend for perfect continuous. Okay. So what we are going to use, we are going to use the same helping verbs again as we have picked up from the perfect tense finger. Has, have, had, will plus have. Same we have picked up here. Now you will say, ma'am, perfect tense had a best friend V3 and continuous tense had a best friend V1 plus ing. Then how can we use V3 and V1 plus ing both together? Here the fight between the perfect tense and the continuous tense was the winner. So we are going to use his best friend V1 plus ing, okay? But we have to use been also everywhere here. Been plus V1 plus ing plus V1 plus ing plus V1 plus ing. These are the rules of all 12 tenses. I'm pretty sure this is going to help you out to remember throughout your life. And these magical fingers will help you out in understanding the subject and verb agreement along with all these 12 tenses rules. If you would have learned all the 12 tenses rule, you would have to cram it, and then might be you will forget some of the helping verb or verb form that has to be used in these tenses rules. But with these 12 tenses, I'm pretty sure you're going to work with much more clarity. Now we are left with the basic exercise of all the 12 tenses, which we are going to do in the next video. So keep watching. I will meet you in the next video. Revise these concepts thoroughly. And in the next class, we will meet with the exercise part. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice